All right, Nick, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tough loss to the Denver Broncos. I think a little underperformance for the Bucs, but there was one bright spot I think caught the attention of head coach Todd Bowles. And there's a guy that is looking forward to some more playing time. I'm Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, Tampa Bay Bucs, not a great game on their part, but one guy in particular did do pretty good enough to catch the attention of head coach Todd Bowles, and that is none other than rookie running back Bucky Irving. Really makes some noise out there, and there's an exciting announcement about him. Let's get into the article and we talk more about it on the other side. A tweet over on X. This is from @ScottSBucks on X. It says, Todd Bowles says rookie running back Bucky Irving has earned more snaps going forward, and it's most likely due to his performance last week, just continually doing good this season. I think this is really big for the Bucs going forward. Nick, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this one, but before we get to you, let's hear from the Bucs fans in the comment section below. Philadelphia Eagles team you're going to face next weekend went up against the Saints. I think it was, an underwhelming offensive performance, good defensive performance by them. I'm curious, what do you think the final score of this Eagles-Bucs game will be this coming weekend? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But nonetheless, Nick, what do you think about Bucky Irving possibly getting some more snaps going forward?
I think it's absolutely 100% a smart move by Bowles and his coaching staff, not just because Irving gives this team a spark sometimes, but because the data, the analytics support it, right? Look, we're obviously not in the film room. We're not in the practice room. That obviously plays a huge role. And of course, what they do on Sundays does as well. But when you just take an unbiased, impartial look at the data, the analytics, and compare Bucky Irving to Rachaad White, for example, there is a massive delta. Let's look at just the running grade. Again, according to Pro Football Focus PFF, Rachaad White through 3 games grades out at a 52.6 running grade, excuse me. How about Bucky Irving, the rookie, grading out at 68.4, 16-point delta there. That is massive in Bucky Irving's favor. How about the passing game, right? Which of these two guys is a bigger threat as a receiver in that part of the offense? We've got Rachaad White at a 73.5. That's really darn good, but Bucky Irving actually edges him out there, 74.7. So there you go, another advantage, albeit smaller, but still in Bucky Irving's favor. How about an underrated aspect of the game? How about as a pass blocker, helping out quarterback Baker Mayfield in the passing game when the situation is needed? Rachaad White has been a little inconsistent there. He grades out at a 56.8 in terms of his pass blocking grade. You look at Bucky Irving, he grades out as a 65.1, 56.8, 65.1. Irving once again checks all 3 boxes. He is clearly the better player. And if you look at each position and if you look at overall, Rachaad White, according to PFF, grades out at a 58.3, and Bucky Irving grades out at a 72.0. That's overall offensive grade. So the clear-cut winner between who needs more playing time, Irving or White, is Irving, based on the data, based on analytics. Now, look, I'm not saying Rachaad White should be benched. I don't think he should. But when you look at the snap count through 3 games, Rachaad White, $120, Irving with 55, I could look at that and say, we need to pull some more snaps away from Rachaad White and give them to Irving, right? Maybe that number needs to be, instead of 120-60, like we saw the first 3 games, maybe we, a 2-to-1 delta, maybe like we get a 60-40 split between these two. Rachaad White gets 60% of the snaps. Irving gets 40. Maybe it's 50-50, dead on, right? I think that's the smart move to make. I think that's what Bowles and his coaching staff is doing, because they recognize that you cannot have as just an absolute ugly offensive performance like you had against the Denver Broncos. That can't happen. The Broncos are not a good football team. I mean, they're a young quarterback, right? They're going through a rebuild. You cannot just lay an egg like that, especially in a division that's going to be pretty tough. The Falcons look feisty. The Saints look pretty darn good. Heck, even the Carolina Panthers with Andy Dalton, suddenly they look like they can play some good football. You can't afford to slip winnable games like this. And the best way to make sure you keep the team focused and keep trying to reset this momentum is getting young, talented guys who have earned playing time, give them more reps. I think that shows accountability to say, listen, hey, if you don't step up and perform, I'll pull some of your playing time in the favor of someone else who is. I think overall it's a smart move by this Buccaneers coaching staff and well-deserved by Bucky Irving.
Yeah, Nick. And, I think, like you said, Rachaad White, he does do some great things. Like, he's been pretty solid in the passing game so far. He's got 12 catches for 98 yards. Compared to Bucky Irving, he only got 5 catches, but 28 yards there for Irving. So I think in that aspect, Rachaad White is still valuable. So I don't want to downplay him too much. But I want to go into a couple more stats in the rushing department just to show how much better Bucky Irving has been. So we look at Irving, he's got 154 rushing yards. Rachaad White, 66 rushing yards so far this season. Pretty big delta there, as you like to say. Let's look at something else that's important. Yards per attempt, staying on White here. 2.1 yards per attempt for Rachaad White. 6.2 yards per attempt for Bucky Irving. A whole 4 yards difference per carry. I think that is absolutely staggering there. Then let's get some other key metrics here. Rachaad White, 4 missed tackles this season. 2 yards after contact, and only 1 explosive run, a run of 10 plus or 10 yards or more. Bucky Irving, on the other hand, 7 missed tackles, almost double. 4 yards after contact, almost pretty much double. And then 4 explosive runs, that is 4 times more than Rachaad White as well. He beats him in every single metric. Oh no, by the way, did I mention he got about 7 less carries than Rachaad White did? This is 25 to 30-something for Rachaad White. So Bucky Irving has done a whole lot more with a little bit less than Rachaad White in the rushing department. So again, to reiterate your point, I think it's really smart to give Bucky Irving more carries. Hopefully we get him see more involved in the run game. I think Rachaad White has some valuable assets. I think he's good in the passing game. I think he's okay in the running game, maybe as a spell guy, but I think Bucky Irving needs to start getting a bulk of these rushing carries because he's shown that this is a guy that can do a lot given the opportunity. I think it could be the added spark this team needs to get over next week. Going to be a tough Philadelphia Eagles defense. So this would be a really great move for them going forward.